guys, welcome back to Hear Me Out. I'm E,
I'm D.
and today we're going to talk about y'all's favorite person and Prince Harry, Meghan Markle. So apparently, this couple is doing a lot. They're doing the most. They have launched Sussex.com or launched it, whatevs. They have adopted the Sussex surname for their kids. And I'm sure they're Sussexing a lot of Sussexes. So we're gonna discuss what all they're doing with the
Huh?
Sussex title and how upset I am about it, how unupset you are about it, and we'll go on from there. Because I already know
Wow.
we agree to disagree off the bat.
What an intro there, ma'am. Okay. So, yeah, there's an article from People magazine, and it says Meghan Markle and Prince Harry quietly launch new Sussex.com website. So, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex Archewell Foundation website also got a makeover. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry just got an online makeover. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex quietly launched a new website, Sussex.com, on Monday. The site encompasses the latest news about the couple, bios for Harry and Meghan, as well as links to their Archewell Foundation organization and Archewell Productions Hub. The homepage features a photo of Prince Harry and Meghan in Germany at the 2023 Invictus Games closing ceremony that occurred in September. The image of the duo smiling and clapping is a favorite of the pair, as they also chose it as the picture for their holiday card last year. Under Meghan's coat of arms, which incorporates Prince Harry's crest, the text on the homepage reads, "The Office of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex." Oh, that felt like a whole tongue twister for a second. The most recent update on the news tab is Prince Harry's appearance on Thursday at the NFL Honors in Las Vegas, where he presented the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year to Pittsburgh Steelers defensive tackle Cameron Hayward. Prince Harry has long advocated for the power of sport for healing and building community. He was honored to present this award and highlight the importance of giving back, the page stated. The Archewell Foundation website also underwent a makeover to coordinate with the new website. Instead of a beige background, the nonprofit organization's homepage features a similar blue hue. The couple's former website, sussexroyal.com, now redirects to the new address. A pop-up message on the webpage reads, "This site was established in 2020 and sets out the work streams of Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, prior to their move to the United States. To learn more about the royal couple and their philanthropic endeavors, click here." After Meghan and Harry married in 2018, news about their royal work news about their royal work appeared on the @Kensington Royal accounts alongside updates about Prince William and Kate Middleton. The following year, the couple launched a separate Instagram page, @SussexRoyal, as part of the plan to establish a separate office from William and Kate. The @SussexRoyal Instagram account stopped being updated after Harry and Meghan stepped back from their senior royal roles in 2020, and its final post was shared in March of 2020. So the couple has not had a social media presence since, but Meghan has hinted that a return to Instagram might be in their future. In a 2022 interview with the New York Magazine's The Cut, the Duchess of Sussex said, "Do you want to know a secret? I'm getting back on Instagram." Although Meghan would relay she was no longer sure she was actually going to return, later in interviews, she appeared to be considering the move amid the launch of her Archetypes podcast. Meghan shut down her social media profiles, including her Instagram page with 3 million followers and lifestyle blog The Tig, after she became engaged to Prince Harry. This week, Meghan and Prince Harry are scheduled to travel to Canada for the Invictus Games Vancouver Whistler 2025's 1 year to go celebrations. Over their 3-day visit, the couple will join members of the participating nations' winter training camp, which provides an opportunity for members of the international Invictus community, including team managers, coaches, and competitors, to experience winter adaptive sports ahead of the games next year. Prince Harry, a former captain in the British Army, founded the International Adaptive Sports Tournament for wounded, injured, and sick service personnel and veterans in 2014. Okay, so go ahead. Give your thoughts that you absolutely hate over here.
I just want to start off by saying I think our other videos, I stated that I would love for a reconciliation for Prince William and Prince Harry, and we know everything that's going on with their ailing dad, King
Yeah.
Charles, and basically he needs his sons. He needs them together so he can feel better,
Yeah.
family unit. We discussed that the British media or just media in general, they love the Fab Four together, so they're better together, right?
Right.
We can agree on that. However, I got to stick to my guns though. This launch of Sussex.com is distasteful. I'm going to call it distasteful.
What?
It's a money grab because Meghan, I need money, Markle, and Prince Harry can't survive without being associated with the royal family. They left the royal family because of their mistreatment, the way that they were bullied, the way that, they discuss, skin tones of their kids. Meghan stated that she was, very depressed, had, some thoughts about, S. And she wanted to be away from that. Prince Harry said that he didn't want to relive something similar to what his mom had to relive, which is, very traumatic. We all witnessed that. And for those who haven't, you're lucky. Princess Diana was very, very loved. So, okay, fine. They leave, they come to the US, right, to start their new life, their little quiet life, which wasn't quiet at all. They have this Oprah interview that just blasted their family. They had Prince William wrote the Spare memoir, which blasted. Prince Harry, sorry. Prince Harry wrote Spare, his memoir that blasted his whole family. His memoir, his their dirty laundry, and they still want to cling on to the royal family. Why can't you just drop this Duke and Duchess of Sussex? Drop the whole idea. You're in the US now. Nobody cares that you're royal. Nobody cares. Drop it. If you dislike them so much, I don't know why you still associate yourself with it. It's because you can't make money without being associated to them. That's my problem.
Mm-hmm.
You're like,
Are you done?
Temporarily, because I can keep going for like 7 to 10 minutes, but I'll let you speak. But I think it just shows that Meghan Markle is a gold digger in my eyes.
Why are you putting this all on her?
Because I don't understand. I feel like once she came into Prince Harry's life, his life, I know you say that, it made it all better, sunshines and rainbows. I don't think so. He's just way more, his family is non-existent besides his immediate family, which is understandable based on, some of the things that happened. But I feel that Meghan has used Prince Harry's pain for personal gain to isolate him and his brand, his birthright for her own personal gain. That's just the way I feel. I'm gonna just leave it there for a moment. Go ahead. This is infuriating.
I think the false narrative should have already ended a long time ago about them wanting to go and live a quiet life. That was never what they asked for. That was never what they wanted. What they wanted was for the media to stop treating them in the way in which they were treating them. Hence why there's been all the lawsuits against all these media corporations, which they have won plenty of. What they also wanted was to be part-time working royals. And Buckingham Palace declined it. Why? Because when Harry wrote what his intentions were, they were leaked to Buckingham Palace before Harry ever got a chance to talk to them about it. And then Buckingham Palace, to try and force his hand, gave him an ultimatum. You're either all in or all out. Because Harry wanted to protect his wife, And his family, because at this point they already had Prince Archie, he chose, and Meghan agreed with him after, to leave. It was primarily his choice. They wanted to
So
stay working. That is
mhm,
what he has said.
sure.
Him personally. This isn't sources, palace insiders, royal
Mhm,
comments. This is Harry
mhm,
himself who has said it. So they wanted to be part-time working royals like other royals
mhm,
are. There are other royal family members who are part-time working royals. And they were denied the capability of doing that. So when it was decided they would fully step down, essentially they were thrown to the wolves because no longer were they going to have certain protections. That's why they left. They
mhm,
had to leave because they were not being protected in the UK. There has been like documented evidence that there were people who literally were giving death threats by the hundreds to Meghan in particular. So that whole narrative that, oh my God, they wanted to leave and live a quiet life, that was never the case. At no point did they ever say, find me an article, find me something from their mouths
mhm,
that says they wanted a quiet life. So, but that has always been the narrative because that is the way that the media shaped it in order to crucify them when they had to do what they had to do to actually make a living.
mhm,
Because on top of everything else, they were not going to have the publicly funded life that all the royals have. They had to make their own money. So what
mhm,
did they do? They had to sign these crazy immediate deals, millions and millions of dollars from Netflix, millions and millions of dollars from Spotify. They got all these other different things going on, all of it because of the fact that they needed to make money. Why did they need to make money? Because they also needed to have security because they
mhm,
weren't going to have that in America.
yeah,
So that's one part of it because I think it's insane that that's still the narrative that people view everything by that, which is inaccurate. Then there's the fact that they have continued their philanthropic endeavors because when they were working royals, just like Prince William, just like Kate, just like the king, and before the king, the queen, they had patronages. They
mhm,
would be the ones that would go to these events and fundraise for these charities and everything. Harry and Meghan have continued that, but nobody cares to think about that because everybody wants to focus on the negative. The reason they have the Archewell Foundation, the reason why they're continuing with the Invictus game and continuing with all these other philanthropic things is because that's what they want to do. But they still need to be able to make money because they're not publicly funded. The British people are not paying them or
mhm,
their salary like they pay for Prince William and Princess Kate or King Charles and all of them. Like, to me, it's bonkers that people really believe the fact that these two people are trying to make a living is them being gold diggers, or in particular, Meghan being a gold digger. They have to work. Nobody gets a free ride in this world. It's bonkers that it's okay for the royal family to continue to be taxpayer funded while Prince William right now supposedly was taking care of his wife but is on half break with his kids instead of stepping up for King Charles, who has cancer. Meanwhile, Harry and Meghan are continuing to work, and that is seen as the worst possible. Oh my God, they're actually working for a living? How dare they? As far as the titles, I don't really care either way, whether they are or they aren't. Prince Harry's always going to be Prince Harry because that is what he was born as.
yeah,
As far as the Duke and the Duchess thing, that was given to them by the Queen.
mhm,
I feel like if they were to say, I no longer want to be the Duke and Duchess, the narrative would then be, oh, they're repudiating the Queen. They're turning their backs on the Queen by just denouncing a gift that she gave them for their wedding. That's what the narrative would then be. Oh my God, how dare they? How dare they? The Queen gave this gift to them and they're just spitting all over it. That would be the narrative. So damned if they do and damned if they don't. It's
mhm,
literally always the same thing. It's like, I think at this point it's so predictable. I kind of like immediately go to Google to search what the UK headlines are going to be because I already know it's at least minimum 5 that are going to be disparaging. And I'm just like, did I get this one right? Did I get that one right? Because I already know what they're going to say and what they're going to do. No matter what, it looks bad.
Mhm.
My last thing, the website. I will concede that when I first saw it, I was like, that's weird.
That's weird.
I did. I really did. Because I was
And
like, the website feels royal or
yes.
presidential because it's like the office of, and it made me think of the office of President Obama, 45th President Obama of the United States of America. Like that's what it made me think of, right? But it made me
Mhm.
think royal as well. So I was
Mhm.
like, well, I know they're not presidents. And then I'm like, that feels a little bit royal. So my brain immediately thought, oh my God, are they going back? Are they going to finally get what they want? I.e., what they originally wanted to be part-time freaking working royals. But then that went away after 2 seconds because, of course, they're not. And I figured it's awesome that they've rebranded, that they now have their own thing. Because the next thing that they wanted when they couldn't get that original thing was to have their own story of how they would portray their lives to be able to make sure that they're the ones providing information and that it's not distorted by any other media outlet. So now you have a website, consolidates things, gives you the information directly from them as far as what they have going on. And mind you, and we've talked about this in previous video, they were quiet for most of 2023. After the Spare memoir tour ended, they were freaking quiet. Nobody was hearing from them. Nobody was hearing from them. It was
Mhm.
like Harry went to the coronation, and then after that it was just kind of like crickets. They popped up recently to the Bob Marley premiere. Everybody was shocked. It was a quiet thing, like they just popped in. Harry went to England. Nobody knew. That was a shocker. He quietly went there. Harry went to present at NFL Honors. Nobody knew. That was quietly done. Now they've rebranded, have a new website. They have also added to their kids' last names. I think it had been done already for some time. But it was just like now it's made aware, people are made aware of it. And Meghan has a new podcast deal. All of this information has come directly from them. It's not coming from the UK media, the palace, because that's the other issue. Anytime they would provide any kind of information, it would be leaked. And so everybody would think, oh, they can't get away from the cameras. They just have to tell them everything. They weren't doing that. Everything was being leaked. Have they made a lot of missteps? Yeah. We've talked about that as well. They've done some dumb things. And I don't think that they're going to say that they handle things perfectly. If in fact I think, correct me if I'm wrong, people, because I know y'all will. In the documentary, I believe they said that they've made their own missteps. They're not fully placing all blame on the royal family and what happened with all that. But all of these things right now that have been happening, it's because they have finally gotten a hang of the narrative that they wanted, which is they want to be able to provide the information. They don't want it to be leaked.
Mhm.
That's all. And I don't think the girl's a gold digger, bro. Like, that just seems bonkers to me. The prince is no longer with his family. How would that benefit her?
The name.
The name
Well,
doesn't do anything.
they're still using Sussex. The
But
dude,
that doesn't give them more money. That doesn't
it
make
gives,
them get any
gives them
richer.
notoriety, though. It gives them a link to the royal family. So my
Ma'am,
problem, they left. Fine, for whatever reason, they left. Whether they wanted to be part-time royals, whether they were seeking refuge somewhere else, they left. Right. Point is, they were mistreated, or Meghan primarily was mistreated, or
yeah.
Prince Harry felt like the spare. You know, he mentions that a lot. Whether it was extra bad or sometimes good, I don't know. Point is, they left. Why do they still keep being linked to the royal family? I think that's where my problem lies.
The
Prince
media
Harry,
does that.
Prince Harry should have thought it through when he left that he would no longer have security, that he will no longer have the public funding, and that he had to make a living. So him crying and complaining that I don't have money and I don't have security and I don't have this, too bad, so sad. Guess what? We got to wake up and go to work every day. So now you have to do that.
That's what they've been doing, and they get
Yes.
bashed for it.
And the Spanish term says a las costillas de the royal family, which means
Oh my God.
being linked to the royal family. I'm not saying drop the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, like just denounce it completely. I'm not saying that. Just don't use it. Don't use it. You could have used your Archwell Foundation as a new theme, as a new name, you could even use anything else. But I feel like using the Sussex anything is your way of still being linked to the royal family. And that in turn probably gives you money on the back end somewhere, some way. It brings you opportunities. Prince Harry, he was born into being a prince. But now I feel like he's using that to get his connections, to get his leverages, to make his money. He hasn't done anything not connected to the royal family, I think.
So
that's my thoughts. Why did they have to name it Sussex.com? Why couldn't they just say Archie.com?
because that is technically their last name. When Prince Harry was still a kid in school and Prince William, they were called William Wales and Harry Wales. Those were their last names. And that is why they've given their children the last names. It's unifying. They now are the grandchildren of the monarch. That is how their protocol goes. As far as everything, he's still a prince. Whether Meghan wants to or not, he's still a prince. Is he supposed to just say, I'm not a prince anymore? Like, don't call me any of these things? Like, I don't understand where that disconnect is, as far as, like you said, this is the life he was born into. And I think that ultimately, if they'd been given the chance, and I want to say I've mentioned this before, but if they'd been given the chance to be working royals by now, 4 years since the whole thing, they probably would have been back to senior working royal members full time, because they didn't want to stop. The whole thing is duty. Harry has always felt a duty. That's why he was so loyal to the queen for as long as he could be, until it came at the health of his family. And so he went to the coronation of his father because that's his father, but it's also his duty as the prince, as all these other things that he is. And so I think that, like, they're always going to be connected, whether they want to be or not. And do they benefit from being connected to the royals? Yeah, I'm sure that they do. But the royals need them just as much as they need the royals. The royals do not get the amount of clicks that Harry and Meghan do. We've discussed this multiple times. Harry and Meghan give the media all of the clicks. That's money. That's all that they're really caring about, is money. Harry used his trust fund when he left to be able to pay for the things that they needed to have some security, to have some of these things. He didn't expect money from people. He didn't expect to get any money from the public after they left. Matter of fact, they repaid the public the money that was used to take care of upgrades to the home. Yeah. So again, literally, it always comes back to the same thing. No matter what they do, there's always some kind of negative connotation put to it. And like I said, I think they both need each other, whether they want to or not. They both need each other. The royal family continues to be in the spotlight because of Harry and Meghan. Because right now, who's doing anything? Who's doing anything that we know of? I don't hear nothing about any of the engagements that anybody else is doing. They're not getting headlines. Do you hear anything about Prince Edward? Do you hear anything about Camilla?
Not
And
as
we
a
know William ain't doing nothing, even though he's the only senior working royal, a part of the actual succession line, who is not ill. Like, he's perfectly fine. He's not doing nothing other than taking care of his wife. supposedly, allegedly.
His wife?
Well, him and his
Harry
kid,
can and William can't.
he left with his kid somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Kate went to another place. Like, they didn't leave together, and eventually I think they were reunited or whatever. But like, no, I mean, this is why I think it's like such a double standard. If it was Harry who wasn't doing anything like trying to work and make a living as he is now, people would just assume that he's a freeloader and he can just like ride the coattails of his father. But nobody's saying anything. Oh, poor William, his wife bed stricken, his father has cancer. He's got so much on his plate and he's not doing anything other than, I guess, being there for Kate and his kids, which, if he weren't who he is, if he weren't the heir, that would be admirable. That'd be great. But he is the heir. He is the person that's supposed to stand up and be there. Can you imagine the way the media would have torn Charles apart if Queen Elizabeth had been sick at some point? Or even in these final years, if Charles had been like, nah, I'm good. I'm finna go vacation with Camilla. Can you imagine?
Well, this isn't a vacation.
No,
We
it's
know
not.
what's wrong with Kate.
We do not. But he himself said she's got nurses. He needs to be there 24/7.
Yo no sé. We don't know the gravity of the situation, but this is not about William. This is about Harry and his nonsense.
You call it nonsense. I call it working.
I don't know.
And I
I
think it's
call it
very normal.
working using the British his birthright. We're
The
gonna
fact
agree to
that he went
disagree.
into that is not his fault. Let's
It's
not
not it's
make
not his fault, but he's still using it. If somebody hurt me so much, it's like going back to a job that I didn't like. Like, why do I even want to be associated with them, with those kind of people, with that industry? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I would just forget that they existed if they hurt me so much.
When was the last time he said anything about the royal family? Aside from like secretly flying to go see his dad because his dad had cancer,
Mm-hmm.
or has cancer. When has he been seen in, like, he's tried to visit his father, and for some reason that always gets leaked to the press by royal insiders. He's tried to talk to him and that doesn't happen. So he keeps it moving. When was the last time that he has spoken since the spare memoir tour or press tour, whatever? Since then, when has he said anything about them? When him and Meghan went to the Jamaican premiere, did he say, "Oh, I'm here as the prince. I'm here because my family is problematic"? Like, damn, the man can't exist like at all. I'm very confused.
I
When
think
was
he
the last
had
time
said
Meghan said
enough.
something about the royal family?
I think he has said more than enough, more than all our
And
lifetimes.
that was his truth, just like Britney
was.
Spears.
It
That
was.
was his truth
It
that
was.
he needed to get out. And I don't think he hates them. That's the other thing that's confusing. I don't know why people think that he hates them. He can definitely be hurt by them, and he can find a way in his heart to forgive them and move on.
Hmm.
But that doesn't mean that he's got to pretend like they don't exist, because then he would be judged by that. Oh my God, he is. He doesn't care about his daddy? He doesn't care. Oh my God. Like, I'm telling you, there's no winning. There's no winning.
We're gonna agree to disagree here because
Obviously.
I don't know what. There's no fixing this. I don't think what I think. You gonna think what you think, and this makes for great YouTube at this point.
Oh my God.
Guys, let us know in the comments what you think about Sussex.com, about the kids using the surname Sussex. What else did we discuss? Megan
The
launching her new podcast, is it?
podcast. Well, it's a new production company that she's working with, Lemonada.
What do we think about that? Are you siding with D? Are you siding with me? Be nice, guys. Okay. If
No,
there's
it won't.
I know they will. If there's any more info out there that we haven't stumbled upon yet, or you want to elaborate on what we said, just write it in the comments. We'll definitely read it, reply. We'll probably talk about it on our next, British, you know, YouTube episode. So just keep us informed and, let's keep it going, guys. But that concludes today's video. If you haven't already done so, please subscribe, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also, please share our video. We're trying to grow our community so your friends could be our friends and we could all be friends. We also have social media, which Zee will tell you about.
We're on Instagram and TikTok at Hear Me Out DNE. So make sure you guys like, follow, share, and comment. We enjoy interacting with y'all.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye.